I know I have been there. You have probably been there. Feel like you just look at that dang cookie and you gain weight. And that is probably because for the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, however long you have been dieting, that you have probably been using the old crappy advice of eat less, move more. So you were just cutting your calories, not really looking at the quality of the calorie, but the quantity. And when we do that, we actually reverse our metabolism, which makes it that much harder to maintain our weight, and it makes it almost impossible to continue losing weight once we've done that yo-yo over and over and over again. It is just impossible to maintain our weight. So if you've been dieting for years and years and years, and maybe you've always done that 2 steps forward, 1 step back, maybe you lost 10, 20 pounds, but then you gained 5, 10, 20 pounds back again. Well, unfortunately, what was happening every time you do that yo-yo is you lost a little bit of your metabolism function each time. And the good news is it's totally reversible, and I'm going to tell you how. So, first things first, you need to understand how the body actually loses fat versus just losing weight and why that's so imperative to our metabolism function. So, how it works is everyone's body has 3 tanks of fuel. You have your glucose tank, that's the carbs and sugars, you have your fat tank, and you have your muscle tank. Well, everybody's body is going to go after that glucose tank first. That's why someone running a triathlon the next day is going to carbo load the night before. They're going to fill up that glucose and carb tank. So when you are trying to lose your fat, you want to cut out a lot of those excess carbs and sugars. So anything with white in it, the white sugars, the white rice, the white breads, things like that are just going to keep filling up this glucose tank. So you cut those out and your glucose tank empties, takes a couple days. The tricky part is, and why so many people get stuck in this cycle, is that as that glucose tank is depleting, it's sending signals to the brain to feed me more sugar, feed me more sugar, feed me more sugar. So if you can get through those first couple days, then the body is going to kick over and it's going to burn the fat and the muscle tank at the same time. However, if you're doing it right and you're eating enough protein to preserve that muscle tank, then your body's just going to be burning that fat tank day after day after day after day. The great news is when you do that, you're not hungry because burning fat for fuel, that's ketosis, is amazing. The body loves it. You have great energy. You feel really full because your body is burning those calories for fat. But the even better news is it makes it so much easier to maintain the weight loss. So here's why burning fat matters when you're trying to lose weight and maintain it for life. Let's say you start a diet and you're 200 pounds, 50% body fat. That means that you have 100 pounds of lean mass, muscle mass, bones, organs, all that stuff, and 100 pounds of fat. Well, if you're just doing it the old traditional way and you're eating less, moving more, and you're just cutting your calories, what's happening, because we have those 3 tanks of fuel, is that your body is depleting a glucose tank a little bit, refilling it, which is sending signals to the brain, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. That's why you're hungry whenever you do just a cutting calorie diet. It's miserable. But what else is happening behind the scenes is that it's depleting the glucose tank a little bit, jumping over to the fat and the muscle tank, but it's burning them at the same time. So let's say you white knuckle it through a program and you get to your end goal and it's having lost, say, 50 pounds. So now you're 150 pounds. Well, you lost muscle also. So if you lose fat and muscle, you're still 50% body fat. So now you have less muscle than you had to begin with, and it's going to be that much harder to now maintain your new weight because you took away some of that engine that burns everything. That is what we mean when we say you're reversing your metabolism. So now you're going to set out and you're trying to maintain that 50 pounds you lost. You're going to try and maintain your new 150-pound weight loss, but it's actually going to be harder than it was to maintain the 200 pounds that you were before because you had more muscle then. So you could consume more calories in your day because you had more muscle, burning that engine the whole time. But now that you're at 150 pounds, you've knocked out all that muscle and it's going to be that much harder. So that's that whole yo-yo dieting that they talk about in the industry, because you've yo-yo down to 150 and odds are you're probably going to swing back and go up to 200 again because it was that much harder. It's not your fault. It's because your body composition changed, making it that much harder to maintain. But what happens when we gain weight? We only gain fat. So if you gain back the 50 pounds you lost, let's say, remember, you were 50% body fat, lost it, now you're still 50%. Now you're maybe 55% body fat because you only gain back fat. We're not gaining back muscle unless we're at the gym, we're trying to gain muscle, right? Now you're 200 again, you're saying, these pants fit a little different than they did before. So you say, darn it, I got to do my program again. And you do your cutting calories weight loss program and you do the whole thing over. You hit 150 again, you're so excited. But what happened is that we lost muscle and fat again. So now we have even less muscle than we had at our original 200. And the second time we were at 200 pounds. So now we're at 150 again. And our muscle mass is even less. So now it's going to be that much harder than it was last time to maintain. So if you have felt that way, if you've been dieting for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years and you feel like, why is this so hard? Has my body changed that much? Must be thinking, oh, it's because I'm over 40. It's because I'm over 50. No, it's because you've reversed your metabolism, making it that much harder to maintain your new weight. So now that's probably making a lot of sense. I know when we explain that to clients, the light bulb goes off. They're like, oh my gosh, I have been reversing my metabolism for these last 20, 30, 40 years. And it's frustrating, but it's fantastic once you know that, because now you can fix it. You can stop doing that yo-yo dieting and stop reversing your metabolism. So if you eat the right things, again, it's not about the quantity of the calories, it's the quality. You can actually make it so that you deplete that glucose tank, you preserve that muscle tank, and you just burn body fat while you're trying to get to your goal weight. Then once you're there, your body fat percentage has dropped so much because you preserved that muscle mass, you dropped that fat, that it makes it a walk in the park to maintain that new weight, because your body fat and your body composition is so much better than it was before you lost weight. And that is how we start to repair your metabolism. And yes, even if you have dieted for years, if you feel like, oh my gosh, my body fat percent is probably off the charts, we have seen clients in the 60% body fat. You can absolutely reverse it, and we can help you get your metabolism working properly again and maintain your new weight.